ジョー様の言っていた下のすごい迷路に着きました。行きましょう。
Come on. Come on, baby. I just want out.
I wish you could put me on your knee and take care of me.
Oh! Whoa! That's a nasty glug!
Right, hello everyone. I think that's coming through. Let's see, I'll just listen in a minute. Yeah. Yep, that's doing it. Good. Alright, anyone there? Yeah, it says public. Yeah, we go. Right, you might want to rewind a bit. I did a little video in the intro, if people have missed it. So I don't know if anyone... I'll wait just a few... I'll just let a few people come in, and then in the meantime I will... I better tweet out about this, actually. Come on. That's it. Sorry, I was... Yeah, I'm doing all right. Again, if you missed the start of the stream, there was a little meme video at the beginning, so do rewind and rewatch that while I just set things up. New channel. There we are. While I'm just setting things up, I better just explain. I'm going to do things a little bit more scripted this time. So, first of all, we're going to be doing... Some of you might remember, some of the older subscribers, years ago, I was going to do a Q&A video. I never got around to it. So I think what I'm going to do is the first, maybe half hour of the stream, bit less maybe, I'm going to do some of the these old Q&A questions from quite a while ago. Then we're going to be talking a little bit about the pain cut of Napoleon. A little bit about Firebrand after that, I think, or rather the first half I have seen, because I watched half of it and I said I will watch the other half, and then I haven't yet, so although I have heard of what happens at the end. And then at the end I'll just do a bit of general chatting. So give me just a few minutes. I better just tweet it out. Apologies, the internet's terrible, so it might take a while. I am now live streaming here. I think that should do it, shouldn't it? Let's see. That done it. Yep, there we go. That's done it. Go to... And I hope everyone's doing all right. I'm babysitting them, that's why I've got a bit of free time, but they're asleep, so I might have to speak a little bit quietly because I don't want to wake those two up. So I've been out of action a bit because I've been very ill with a bad cough. If my throat sounds a bit different, that's why. I'm nearly there with the Napoleon review, though. I've only got about 20 minutes left to record, which I'll probably do after this if I feel up to it. And I think it's going to be at least 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. This video, it's hell. But just a reminder, there is a preview in one of the previous community posts. I forget which one. There we go. That's Facebook. How many we've got? 13 people. Good. I'll come off that one. Yes, I know. I can't help it. Okay, and announcements. That's all. That's everyone, isn't it? Everyone. I am live streaming now. Now link canoe. That's it. Yeah. There we go. Good, right. That's better. So let me just, I better just get that up actually. The where is that file? That's the one. Ooh. There we go. Right. So this will be semi-script because I wrote a script originally, so I'm going to be somewhat reading off of it. Let's have a look. So first question I got here, rather it's actually John Dalton asked 2 questions. Hello, Laughing Cavalier. I'm a big fan of the channel. I hope he still is, because this was years ago. So thank you for the time and effort you put into your videos. 2 questions, if you will forgive that. Did most commanders in the English Civil War have much prior military experience? I know Prince Rupert did in Germany, but how about the rest of our major players? Cavendish, Fairfax, Richard Harris, etc. Also, do you have any interest in the Great Northern War? So now I'll probably answer the Great Northern War one first. Not really. I don't know much about it. Years ago, I got a few like 28mm wargame figures to paint for it. I think they were Swedish musketeers. I think it was musketeer miniatures, but they've disappeared now, sadly. So that's my limit. But yeah, I do tend to sort of with the channel just focus on things I know more about and I like. Really, so I'm sorry if I probably won't be able to cover the Great Northern War. Now, in regards to experience of like commanders in the Civil War, and again, apologies, I'm reading a bit off the scripts here. A few of the senior ones, there were some like the leading generals that had a bit more experience, like Essex and so on. Had served, I think, mainly in the Low Countries and a bit in Germany. I think during the 30 Years' War, and then obviously Prince Rupert. But once you get down to more kind of the well, I don't really call it a brigade, but yeah, that sort of kind of level. Not much. You do get quite a lot of. What were the examples I got here? So Charles Gerard, who was only 24, is one of the main royalist commanders, and again, as far as I didn't have much military experience. John Belassie, he was 28 and had no military experience. And then you had Colonel Richard Fielding and Sir Nicholas Byron and other ones, and they only had a bit of service in the Bishops' Wars. They relied quite a lot on, you got a lot of foreign officers, so obviously, as I say, foreign, including the Scots and the Irish in this as well, obviously, because separate kingdoms at this point. So, for example, the Earl of Forth, who was Scottish, was the king's, what was his rank? I've got it written here somewhere. Lord General, I've got written down. Yeah, but just for the chat, I won't be answering questions from the chat yet. This is just ones from the Q&A from years ago, so I probably won't be paying attention to the chat in the minute. So, but there will be a general chatting bit at the end. I'll go through some stuff then, because I just feel I do owe it to try and catch up some of these old Q&A ones. So, then there was Parliament had because again that's one of the things off of frames like the Royalists had a lot of foreign commanders and Parliament more. English was like there was a lot of foreign ones in Parliament's army as well. I mean, the commander of the artillery was a man called Edge Hill, was Philibert Manuel Dubois. I assume as a Frenchman. I've not heard much information on the guy. But yeah, so certainly overall, yes, very senior position. They did definitely try and find men who had experience. But once you get down to even just like brigade and regimental commands, very limited. Of course, that very quickly changed. But things like Edge Hill were a mess. I mean, I got a quote here. Alfred Byrne from Battlefields of England. It was an old book from, I think, the 50s, I wrote that. He said, that is what I mean when I said that Edge Hill did not deserve the reputation as a battle that it holds. It was badly fought, and there are few lessons to be learned from it, except the negative one of how not to do it. I hope that's an alright answer for that. Right, now. So the second question I've got here is from Callie the First. I think actually is in the chat today. So apologies for the delay. Hi Cavalier, great idea with the Q&A. My question, what TV series or film has the most accurate portrayal of Margaret Beaufort? I tend to think the Shadow of the Tower series, but would love your opinion. I also would like to know which word is more annoying, contemporary or immediacy. Sorry. There we go. Right. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one with Margaret Beaufort because she's barely been portrayed on film, including TV in this, obviously. So yeah, you have Marigold Sharman in the Shadow of the Tower. I think she's by a country mile the winner. I've not seen it super recently, The Shadow of the Tower. I saw a few little clips when I was editing the My Lady Jane video a little while ago, but from what I remember, she's much better portrayed. I mean, we have her, for example, trying to save Sir William Stanley in one of the episodes, so she's not trying to murder people, which is good. And then you just compare it to how she progressively gets more and more cartoonish in the Stars trilogy, if you will. Because she was still a villain in like the sort of the White Queen, but she wasn't as bad. Then it's like White Princess. Now she's murdering. Well, okay, she does. They have a murder in the Princess in the Tower in that one, but then White Princess, she murders Jasper, and then Spanish Princess, she's an absolute clown. That's the best way I can describe it. As for contemporary or immediacy, it's got to be contemporary. I hate that word and anything sort of period drama related. It's God. It's just like, I mean, I can understand, like, you're trying. We are different people from what we were, say, 500 years ago. So some language won't work. Sometimes you have to maybe change a little bit so people can understand it. But when it's like, I'm going to make my series just like something set in the modern day, it's like, well, what's the point? You might as well just make a modern day series rather than, taking, say, the Tudors or something and then doing that. And then also, I mean, the word immediacy, just like, well, what does that mean? I mean, I think I'm going to put it in the script as like, I mean, immediacy and accessibility. I mean, that sounds more like something like a local council would stick on a sign. When they've opened up a new ramp to for a library or something. Not something you do when you're doing with the costumes of a drama. So yeah, sorry. I hope that answered. But sorry a bit. I'm just again sorry for taking so long to get to it. So I'll go on to question 3 here, which is, and again, I hope these people are still subscribed because it's probably been years since they asked these. Zavi Gamer X4. Hi Cavalier. Which one of Henry VIII's wives do you think was portrayed the most accurately in terms of appearance and personality in the 1970 and 1972 TV series and film starring Keith Michelle? Love your videos. So with the I'll definitely say with the 1970 series, I think it's got to be Jane Seymour. Who played her in that? Hang on, I've got it written here. And Sally Brass. Did she pass away recently? I think I heard about that, but was that might be a year or two ago now? Actually, now I think about it, but yeah, I think she was of the 6 episodes. I think that was probably the best of the 1970 series, which I probably will never cover like I did again because of the BBC's copyright system, because they love copyright claiming those. And then they wonder why nobody's watching them. Although they showed them on BBC 4 last year, I think, or the year before. And Elizabeth R was on there, which is good. So yeah, definitely that one. And the 1972 film, I think, is obviously Lynn Frederick as Catherine Howard. And And it's interesting how different that is from the 1970 series, even though it was a lot of the same people that made the 1970 series. But it was the writer, I believe, of the Jane Seymour episode who wrote the movie for the 1972 movie, which is probably why it's perhaps that's why that one was better than the 1970 one. Again, I think I covered. I think I covered my reasons for that in the quick review I did, and I've not seen that for years. That review. So, how long are we doing? I'd say. How long have I been going for? 20 minutes, have I? Quarter of an hour. I'll do another question, then we'll get on to the Napoleon pain cut. So. Again, am I sounding all right, everyone? Because somebody earlier was saying I was stuttering a bit, but I think that's just when because I got very bad internet around my sisters, I'm afraid. So, if anyone's there in the chat, hello. Well, I'll keep going. Sounds okay, thank you, good. So, I'll do this last question I'll ask is Peter Parker, who's coming from being Spider-Man. Hey Cavalier, love your content. My question is, which figure do you think is the most underrated in the Tudor and Stuart periods? Again, I wrote this script obviously some years ago, but again, I think my answer is exactly the same. With the Tudors, it's going to be John Dudley, the Duke of Northumberland. I think that has become a bit all mainstream now. A lot of people, well, actually, I think even since about the 70s, people start to realise he wasn't really the evil Duke of legend so much. At least in academia, I think in fiction he still is. But yeah, it's just amazing. He sort of takes a kingdom. 1549, they get rid of Somerset and he takes over, and Boulogne is besieged by the French. We're stuck fighting the Scots, but Mary Queen of Scots have fled to France, so that war's lost. They've just had to crush Ket's rebellion. They've had the prayer... No, Ket, is it Ket? Hang on, let me think about it. It's Ket's rebellion, isn't it? I think it was. Anyway, yeah, the rebellion in Norfolk. They've had the prayer book rebellion in, in the West Country. The economy's bankrupt. And in the space of about 4 years, not even that, he nearly managed to turn everything round. And again, had all that not happened with Lady Jane Grey and, trying to put her on the throne... probably would be a lot better remembered. Yeah. I think I'm probably in a bit of a delay. That's probably why I'm sort of... I'm probably about 20 seconds ahead of the stream. That's probably why I'm saying things. And then... Then the most underrated figure of the Stuart period, I'm going to say... who did I say again? Oh, yeah, Montrose. Again, I did a video on the Battle of Philippock years ago. I can't remember when I made that one now, but... He's probably a bit more known in Scotland, obviously, but his military campaign is just really interesting. How he takes in is about 1,500 Irish troops and a similar number of Highlanders, and he just caused absolute havoc across the Highlands for more than a year, to the point he nearly managed to basically take over Scotland, which is an amazing sort of campaign. And even in the Battle of Philippock, when he's heavily outnumbered, he's only got about 600 of the Irish troops are left by then. And a handful of sort of other Scots troops, because I think most of the Highlanders are gone by then. And he still gave the Covenanters, who had several thousand men that run for the money for that one. But yeah, so that's I've done 4 questions. I think I'll stop there. It's about probably nearly half the ones I had. And again, just to reiterate, I'll be answering questions in chat sort of towards the end of the stream. So. Yeah, right. Now we'll go on to the Napoleon, the pain cut. So, if you go back to the beginning of the stream, there was a little video, because this I think gives my views on it. It kind of came out of nowhere, the director's cut. I was banking on it not, basically never coming out. Sorry, just a... Yeah, sorry, because again, as I mentioned, I'm just recovering from a sore throat and a cough, so I'm drinking quite a bit to. Oh, if I sound a bit different. But yeah, cause it was because when did the theatrical come out? It was last year, wasn't it? It was November. Wasn't it? Sort of towards the end of November that came out, and they said, "Oh yeah, they're going to do the extended cut," and then there was no news for ages about it, and everyone, I kind of just assumed, oh well, they're probably going to quietly cancel it. And then the only sort of news we had of it was about a month or two ago. They suddenly, I forget which board it is that deals with like ratings of films in America, released that they'd given a rating for a director's cut for Napoleon. And there was like, it's coming. And then just suddenly out of nowhere one day, Ridley Scott was like, "Hi everyone, here it is. Here's the trailer. Bye." And that was it. And now we've had the director's cut, and I can tell you it's bad. That's the best way I can describe it. I did a post a few weeks ago, I think, where I went through. I actually put both versions of the film next to each other, and just went through it. And oh dear. The only good scenes in it, like I say, was they added a scene with the Carmelite nuns being executed, which is something that happened historically, which is that's something that should have been in the film, because in the theatrical it goes from him winning at Toulon, and then the next scene he's like half falling asleep whilst Barras tells him, "Oh, by the way, everyone kind of hates the terror now, and we're going to get rid of Robespierre probably." But nobody sort, historians probably might know that, but if you're a general audience member, like, why are so many people going off the terror now? But that scene actually shows it, because it's these nuns that were executed, and as they were being killed, they were chanting in Latin, and it sort of shocked a lot of the people as they were watching this, and they suddenly started realising, oh yeah, maybe we've gone a bit too far. They had a "hands are we the baddies" moment. So yeah, that scene should definitely have been left in. I think there was a scene where Barras, they show him having an affair with Josephine, which probably should have also been left in, because otherwise it just kind of appears that like Josephine just randomly decides she kind of likes Napoleon, I guess. What was the other scene I thought was necessary? I do mention that I have recorded the section for this for the review, so that's in there. I can't remember the top of my head. Actually, I could just get my script open, couldn't I? Where is it? Not that one. Sorry, just browsing through it. Oh yes, that's at the Brumaire coup, 1799. They added a lot more scenes with the planning of that. I think that's something that should have also been in the theatrical, but they cut it so we could have more scenes of Josephine. Then the assassination attempt, although it is very comical how they portray the actual attempt. They have basically like he's just sort of riding along in his carriage with Josephine going to the opera one night, and then all of a sudden there's a huge flaming wagon just like suddenly like comes at them, being driven by a load of guys are pulling it along while it's on fire. I'm just like, how the hell did the guards not see this thing? It's huge and it's on fire, and then it blows up. I'm just like, why didn't it blow up earlier? It's like I don't know. But other than the bad portrayal of it, that's something that should have been shown, because then you'd have the execution of the Duc d'Anjou, and that they were sort of important events that should have been there. And then finally there was a scene with the Tsar and his minister discussing Russia leaving the continental system, sort of just before the invasion of Russia. That should definitely have been left in. It's actually it builds the Tsar's character up a lot more. But so yeah, they're the only scenes that are worthwhile in the director's cut. Other than that, like all the new scenes are just even the ones where they do actually add like they technically add the first Italian campaign, but they don't. It's basically just him riding into Milan. He goes into a cathedral and nicks a load of artwork. You might as well not just shown it at that rate, but and obviously it makes the film just so much more of a slog. I put a few, again, if you watch the little meme I did at the beginning, there's a few really bad bits. Like, there's a line, what was the line he says? He's in Russia writing back to Josephine. They had a line where he says, like, "Oh, Josephine, I want you to put me on your knee and treat me well or something like that." I was like, why? Like, we've got all these scenes of your men freezing to death in Russia, and that's what you're worried about. And then the Austerlitz and Waterloo, the only new scenes they add is him on the loo. So that's good. But yeah, that added another few thousand words onto the script. I wonder if Ridley Scott will pull an Oliver Stone and do numerous versions of the film. Well, the problem is Ridley Scott's 86. Is he 86 now? Or yes, I think he's 86. So he's getting on a bit. He's not going to be doing many more cuts in Napoleon. So yeah, that's the director's cut of Napoleon. If anybody got any specific questions about that, ask them now. And again, keep questions sort of related more to the topics I'm doing, right? Because I'll keep the general chat for sort of later at the end of the stream, because then I'll cover them then. Give it a few seconds if anybody's asking anything. Oh, Vian figure's gone down a little bit, so. Well, no, I guess nobody cares about. Well, to be fair, nobody really talked about the director's cut much. So, if that's the case, then we'll move on to Firebrand, or the first half I have seen. Because yeah, I was going to watch the whole thing, but I got like halfway and thought, oh, I'll watch the other half tomorrow. And then I think Ridley Scott came out with the director's cut Napoleon. Then I fell ill, and then I was just like, oh, I've not got back to the second half, but I will at some point. But I'll hold off doing a quick review until I've dealt with Napoleon. My thoughts of the film. It's a bit mixed, really. Let me just get where are my notes? Firebrand notes, here we go, because I kept some notes while I was doing it. So obviously, I mean, positives. I do think the costumes are really good. I think they're the best I've seen in a Tudor drama for quite a while. Even better than Becoming Elizabeth's ones we had, which is good. They do use a few period pieces in there as well. Like there's a scene where they're singing "Pastime with Good Company," which is quite interesting. The only problem is it does feel very small, because they filmed it mainly at I can't remember the name of the place. It's something Hall, Haddon Hall. And it does feel very sort of tiny. I think didn't they film it towards the end of? I think it was 22 they filmed it, but there was still some lockdown stuff from the what in place. They had a few, perhaps some of that interfering, but casting I think overall was pretty decent. I know some people in praising Jude Law saying he was a good Henry. I'm not. I'm in the more negative camp, really. Like there's a lot of things I feel like he was kind of just reading. Like it's just Jude Law reading a script, not him trying to be Henry VIII, if you know what I mean. There's some scenes maybe where he was, but I think also just the uncanny thing of he's not fat and he's kind of trying to pretend to be fat, but you can sort of see he isn't. Because this is obviously Henry VIII right towards the end of his life, so that sort of put me out of it a little bit. Alicia Vikander, I think she was very good as Catherine Parr for what she was given. Plot-wise, it's again I'm only going off the first hour I've seen. I've still got the second half, and I've got an idea what happens because that spoiler's been going around for a bit. oh yeah, so the other thing, the actress playing Elizabeth, like, she does look good, but she is a bit old for the role, because I think she was like 16, 17 when Elizabeth is about 12, 13 during these bits. I don't know why they got a much older actress for the role, but yeah, because I thought they were going to focus much more on the Anne Askew stuff, but again, sorry, I'll go into spoilers a little bit here. She dies in like the first half hour of the film, and it happens off screen. Again, because they probably didn't have the budget to show, like, her being tortured and executed, which was it's weird. Because I thought they were sort of setting up like they were gonna, like, she was gonna be like kind of, that was gonna be like the main conflict of the film almost, and then no, she dies off screen, and then there's sort of that the next half hour is kind of the sort of bumbling along. We get, and then silly ahistorical stuff like, Catherine Parr getting pregnant. That's about where I've got up to. So I don't know. And then again, spoiler alert: the what I've heard of the end of the film is that it ends with Catherine Parr murdering Henry VIII, which obviously didn't happen. Not least because she was nowhere near him at the time. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like something from. That's The Simpsons, isn't it? When they did the Henry VIII parody, I'm pretty sure that happens, isn't it? But Marge playing Catherine of Aragon. So, I don't know. What have I got? My better go through my notes here. It's a bit weird about how they delayed it so much as well, because I think it was filmed 22. It had its premiere at Cannes in May 23, and it's only just come out in the UK now. And then it came out, I think, about nearly 2 months ago, I think, in the US. Which is so weird, because it's just like, how did it take that long from, like, it was done at Cannes, and then you didn't release it. You thought it'd been out by the end of 23, but they held on to it. So, and they've done absolutely no promotion for it at all, which it seems to be a problem in general, just in the cinema. They just don't promote anything anymore. I don't know. Oh, I'm losing viewers now. So, oh yeah, he shoots Ned out of a cannon in that one, because it's I think he's Cardinal Wolsey, isn't he? No, he's Thomas More. That's it. Yeah, they have Ned as Thomas More, and he shoots him out of a cannon. Alright, viewing figures been a bit low. I did tweet out about it. I hope everybody can see it. Yeah, I did. But let's have a look. I asked everyone on Discord, so. Yeah. There's a load of people online. Weird. Is YouTube just not telling anybody that I'm streaming or something, or? Because I mean, I've gone through about 3 of the topics now, and like no barely anybody's been in the chat. So I don't want to sound like I'm moaning, but just as a bit depressing with YouTube, where they don't promote things. So, anybody got any other questions about Firebrand? Because I've not got much else to say, really. Other than, like I say, the where are my written notes for it? I can't find them. Oh, maybe it's in my reviews one. Hang on. Quick reviews, wasn't it? Firebrand, there it is. Man, there we are. Oh yeah, there's some silly bits. Now there's woman singing terribly. It was like, why do we need this? We could have had Anne Askew being interrogated, but we've got some woman singing who can't sing. Oh yeah, there's a funny thing with Anne Askew, like she's living like a kind of a weird like cult in the woods with a shrine of the with the statue of the Virgin Mary, which is like I thought she was a Protestant. Like, did they normally have shrines of the? I thought that one of the whole things of the Protestant Reformation was to sort of get rid of that. But, Alright, well. Oh, again, also just a reminder, I do have channel memberships enabled, and you can donate super chats if you want. I've gone a bit quicker than I thought. I thought it'd be. I think I was expecting a few more people to be in the chat. Oh, how was the portrayal of Queen Mary the First? Well, I mean, she's not the Queen, obviously, in this one, but Mary's barely in it, for at least so far. It's more Elizabeth and a bit of Edward they're sort of focusing on, and I think Mary's in like 2 scenes where they're having dinner. Oh, and in the scene in the chapel, but that's in the first half. I don't. She might be in the second half a bit more, maybe, but in the first half, like, she's all right. She's sort of fairly. I think she's fairly friendly with Catherine, which is accurate. So, is Patsy Farran? I think her name is playing her. And then also it's funny that they're going to be doing a movie about Mary, a comedy one. Sounds terrible. And she's in that, but she's playing the Queen's Fool, and it's Karen Gillian is playing Mary the First. If that's going to happen, I don't know. I think it's still in like early stages of production at the minute. So, right. Well, I guess gone through that all a bit quick, but nobody. I guess we'll go to general chatting then. If there's anybody got any other questions of. Oh yeah, it does sound a bit like My Lady Jane. That's I don't think it'd be as I guess there's something else we could talk about. That got cancelled, and that was I was laughing when I saw that because it's quite funny because they're trying to do a load of people trying to do a petition where they save it, and they got 60,000 signatures last I checked. Let me have a look. How many is it at the minute? When it loads, sorry, because the internet's very slow. Or 74,000, beg pardon. It's gone up a bit since then. But again, that's nothing. I'm actually surprised Amazon cancelled it, to be honest. Because normally Amazon is sort of when they have just unlimited money because they're a shipping company, so they can just do whatever they like. So they usually double down. But I think the clue was when they released all episodes at once, meaning they were probably hoping it would spike a little bit with the thing. What's that? No, that looks like a bot one. Hang on. No, I don't want to. Oh, a stupid thing. I can't. No. Oh, I hate this stupid thing they got. With the heart thing. I can't. I need a mod in chat to get rid of that. I can't. Oh, there we go. Right. Remove. There we go. That's it. Sorry, I think there was a spam message just then. Oh yeah, George R. R. Martin. He's doing everything he can except write books. No, it's not. I don't. It's an original comedy. This one with Karen Gillian. Oh, and I just watched clips of My Lady Jane. I did say in my review at the end of it, I'm only watching clips and just. I've seen enough. And the stuff I saw looked crap, I'm sorry. Anything you'd like to see adapted for TV so far that hasn't never been? I'm not sure, really. I mean, I can tell you topics I'd like. It's maybe not specific books or anything like that, but I definitely would like to see an actual Lady Jane Grey series, like a drama series. You could start off, with maybe sort of end of the reign of Henry VIII, his reign, and then you can sort of introduce, her family. You can have the early sort of season could be just a bit, with Edward and Somerset, and then introduce in that way, and then you start to get more towards the 9 days, and then you finish it, with with all that and being executed. Like, you could do a really good series if you have the right cast. Which again, that's why I was sort of hoping with Becoming Elizabeth, if they did a second season, because that would have been basically that. You know, we'd had a lot of focus on Jane, but it got cancelled. So Jane's had a bit of a rough time, and she finally got basically one series, and she's in the second, I guess. But Becoming Elizabeth got cancelled, and My Lady Jane got cancelled. So that's the only problem with this, is that I hope they don't take the wrong lesson from the My Lady Jane thing and think that her story's not interesting or something. Which is why, you know, you need good. That's like, of all the things they had to do, they had to go and adapt that. But yeah, I want a remake of Oliver Cromwell. Would they even dare do that these days? I don't know. It could work. I don't know who they'd cast though. That's the thing. I can't think really. They'd find a way to ruin it, or they'd bring in some sort of modern political angle to it, probably. So, you know, Charles he's building a wall and he's going to make the Scots pay for it or something, and I don't know. And he's been burdened by what has been unburdened. I'm late, but everyone's late. It's like Did anybody get notified by YouTube, by the way? Because like I've just noticed with like I know I don't do streaming very much. Obviously, I'm not a streaming sort of channel, but it's like each time I stream, I get less and less sort of viewers. And then it just seems like YouTube just doesn't tell anyone. I don't want to sound like I'm being ungrateful or moaning or anything, but it's like it's just depressing when YouTube keeps doing this. So it's like. Charles the First wants his photo banned from the internet. Yeah, did they? There was a stage play years ago. Was it Moffat? Wasn't it? I can't remember what they did. That. It was like the trial of Charles the First. But the weird thing is, like, Charles the First is accurately costumed, so he's in his, with the cross of St George. He's got the proper hair and everything. And then everyone else is in like modern attire, so they're in like modern combat gears and berets and things. It was just like, what the? They're trying to do some artsy sort of thing, but it's like, okay, but you done like. Were you trying to do like a Richard III thing, with the Ian McKellen one, but you kind of did like half of that? I don't know. Sorry, just a second. There we go. Got notification last minute. That's good. At least they actually notified you. That's obviously, I do apologise for the stream rate, but it's I'm going around my sister, so it's got. Oh, yeah, Edward the Third series would be good. I know there is a William the Conqueror series they're doing at the minute, aren't they? Because there was a little controversy over that with some of the casting. Because I think there's like a Norman. Is there a Norman nobleman they've gone for the modern casting, shall we say? Didn't get. Yeah, there you go. YouTube not telling anyone. I don't get live notifications for anybody's live streaming. I'm just gonna have to go, on the subscription pages, guess when they're. You're like, oh look, somebody's live streaming. Good. It's a bit annoying. But yeah, so like I said, so I don't think I'll review that William the Conqueror one if it comes. Like again, I've got a bit of an interest in it, but I'm not an expert on that sort of period. So I think I'll leave that. I bet all the medieval channels will be all over that, won't they? So I'll leave it for them. I don't know what's left. We've got Tudor stuff coming out really, because I wonder if I'll even be able to make an upcoming Tudor drama video this year, because all we've really got coming is possibly that Queen's Fool one with Karen Gilly, which is a comedy anyway. But again, Firebrand's out, so that's done. Melanie Lady Jane's cancelled. Becoming Elizabeth got cancelled years ago. Wolf Hall. We do have Wolf Hall coming up. I guess that might be maybe end of this year or early. I suspect early next year. We'll see. So let me just move that there a minute. Or the Devil's Crown. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, the what about the early Plantagenets? That would be good. That could work definitely. Margaret Tudor, maybe. There's a lot to adapt there, but the problem is I think the Spanish Princess season 2 sort of covered all that, so they'll probably be, and that had less viewing figures than season 1, so no doubt they might take the wrong lesson from that and go like, oh well, I guess nobody's interested in it anymore, so they might not. And of course, they'll always go for the name recognition. They just do Henry VIII and Elizabeth I, won't they? That's what they'll do. And even English Civil War. I mean, Oliver Cromwell's well known. They don't do anything on him. There was meant to be a movie, weren't they, or TV series about the Irish. Hugh O'Neill, was it? I can't remember. Led the rebellion against Elizabeth. I don't know what's happened to that because that was a couple of years ago, and then it just like disappeared. So Hanoverians could do. I mean, there was that Prince Regent series at the back in the 70s on George IV. I think that's on YouTube now. Actually, somebody uploaded it. And then you got bits, but I know the one who did The Crown on Netflix. He wanted to do like a was it like the Victorians or something? I can't remember what he said now, but like, I think like Victorians, Edwardians, or something like that. It's that kind of period, like. But whether that'll actually happen, I don't know. Yeah, 9 Years' War. Yeah, I've since I did that video, but a couple of years back, there's not been word from it. Like, but this often happens. Like they say, they pitch an idea, they're going to do it, and then it gets into pre-production, and it just disappears. So. The problem as well is I think I noticed that they sort of they seem to make like a lot of series, and they don't seem to make like pilot episodes anymore. Because that would be a thing like you'd make a pilot of something, a bunch of them, pitch them to the studio, then they pick, say, oh, that one looks good, let's make a series out of it. Whereas now they're just like, I don't know, maybe they're just desperate to make up lost revenue from the thing that happened in 2020. So they're just making loads and loads of series and hoping that'll do it, but then they just cancel them. That's why you've had it with Becoming Elizabeth, with My Lady Jane now, and I'll probably keep going, with other stuff. Yeah, I'll go back to this. Sorry, just scroll up to the beginning of the stream. What question do we have? Greetings from Canada. How you doing? Across the pond? Yeah. Have you seen The Bounty? Years ago. I do have it on DVD somewhere. I've got it like saved on my ripped up under the hard drive, ready to watch at some point. But to be honest, again, I've not seen it in so many years. I can't really comment on it. Just remember, obviously, Anthony Hopkins is in it. So yeah, I wouldn't really describe Hornblower. Sorry, I'm just going back to Louis Alfieri. I wouldn't describe that as contemporary, really. Like, they're still, like the way they're acting is still there's roughly kind of Napoleonic. Like, there's not. When I say contemporary, I mean it's a bit more like, thinking like that horrible Netflix one about Anne Boleyn, where she's, you got rap music in the background. She's talking about like getting, what was it, dad tears on her dress and things like that. That's contemporary. It's when it's like so forced like that. Yeah, First Church. That's a really good. Yeah, that could work. Yeah. I hope it's still on YouTube, because that was they do sometimes take them down, sadly, because it's a BBC series. It's so weird that like that stays up, but then like if I do the Six Wives of Henry VIII, boom, I get hit with copyright claims, and then I have to be ever so careful putting footage of it in anything. Oh yeah, it brings a power to $1 billion. I think that was $1 billion including them buying the. Oops, sorry about that. That was that's an old cardboard ice cream van that my nephew tore up that just fell over. Yeah, sorry, but Rings of Power, they spent $1 billion. That's also included them buying the rights to, but they didn't get the whole rights. They just got the rights to the Silmarillion, I think. And no, not to the Silmarillion. No, it was to the, might be the Silmarillion, but it was. I think it's down to the appendices or something like that. So they don't actually have the rights to the proper Lord of the Rings. There's like they can't mention like hobbits, for example, because there's certain things that are not mentioned. You know, so that's why they have to call them like Harfoots and things. But it still costs an absolute fortune, but yeah, so not money well spent. And plus, then they spend a load more money because they originally filmed the first season in New Zealand, and then New Zealand changed the tax policy or something, so then they moved over to the UK. So that cost a load more money to move over. But somehow they keep that going because that's their premier flagship program, I suppose. Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, so I'll just go up again. What's my Josh asked, what's my opinion on Oppenheimer? I've not really seen it. I've had a few clips. I've heard it's decent, but very sort of slow. I think there was some criticism was a bit too focused on his love life, from my understanding. But I'll be honest, I never really know much about Oppenheimer or the Manhattan Project, so I've never really had much interest in that. But I do mention that actually in the Napoleon review, because obviously I do point that as a comparison, because it was made roughly the same time as Napoleon, similar sort of budgets. But I was using more as an excuse with the because when they were making Napoleon, they're trying to claim that the thing that happened, there were still restrictions from that affected it. But then it's point of, well, this was made at the same time, yet that somehow did really well, yet Napoleon didn't, you know. So, Queen Anne, Great Britain was very underrated. Yeah, and oh yeah, that's that one. Did Joseph and Alexander make out the director's cut? No, luckily there was no extra scenes with them. there was a bit of them dancing in the theatrical, but it's exactly the same as that. They didn't add any more. Drama series on the Howards. I mean, is that going to cover like throughout their history? Is that just in the Tudor period? A lot of executions. That'll definitely happen. Big TV is made for streaming these days. Yeah, and that's the problem, though, isn't it? Because it's like half the streamers, you know, they don't really sort of release a lot of their numbers, or they'll artificially try and inflate them. So they'll say, you know, again, like My Lady Joan, they release all the episodes at once as to try and spike it. So they can say, aha, look, it was the most viewed series on this particular day in this hour or something. When it's, well, yeah, because you released, or had the most watch hours. So then they can do that, you know, and then say it's doing better than what it actually is. And that's the problem, like, you know, we're in this period where, like, sort of mainstream TV is sort of faltering, and they're trying to go to streaming, but they can't make as much money as they can from the advertising. And the problem, the others have really got a big slice of the pie is Netflix and maybe Amazon. And the rest are sort of, you know, kind of shadowing behind a bit. And that's the problem. There was like it just budgets are absolutely inflated. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like the Poland that was 100 million, was that something I think it cost? 130. Yes, I think it was between 100 and 130 million dollars. But now, to be fair, obviously there's a lot of, I would expect a lot of, you know, the uniforms and so on, that would cost a fair bit. But you know, years ago that probably would have cost less than that. You know, but it's just there's so much money spent on so many writers, and perhaps the Poland's not the best example, but you get, you know, something like I guess like Rings of Power, you know, has so many producers and writers on it, and they're paying them so much money. It's just unsustainable, really. But nearly an hour, and I'll keep going for a bit. I don't know if Matthias is there. I did tell him I was streaming tonight, but might, well, obviously time zone difference, he might not be there. Yeah, he's not online at the minute, so. I've looked at any more of. Josh asks, if you had the ability to make a Titanic TV miniseries of your own, what would be your character stories? I do think the Goodwin family, which actually ironically the '96 series was originally gonna, that was going to be the main third class family. That is one I definitely would cover. I probably would do like a lot. I'd like to remember to just have focus maybe on like a first class group, second class, and a third class one. Of course, then unfortunately, what happened with I do intend to do Titanic Rant 2 at some point, but just this Napoleon review is that's gonna be the video this year, and that's gonna knacker me. So, but yeah, because then eventually what happens? I forget the name of the writer of the '96 miniseries. Oh, it'll come to me in a minute. No, I can't remember. Anyway, he wrote it, and he had that in the original script. It was going to be the Goodwin family, going to be the main third class family, going to follow. And then they got the studio was like, oh, we got this other writer, and she's going to come in and she's going to polish it up a bit. And then, well, when she polished it, she kind of like rusted it, and then it ended up as what it is. They completely changed it to that kind of weird, like half Cockney West Country family. Just completely ruined the original. It's kind of shocking, and they didn't tell him that they changed his script so much. He actually he didn't know until he saw the mini-series. It's kind of shocking. They could do that. They probably wouldn't get away with that now, but back then they could. It's probably why the 2012 series is quite disappointing, because they had a chance to do something and then, yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's that one. Cavalier, please do tell if you've seen The Libertine of 2004 with Johnny Depp about the restoration. No, I've never heard of it. Sorry about that. Wish they could do a really good drama on Edward VI and Mary I. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like Becoming Elizabeth had some moments with that, which is a shame it went the way it did. They decided to focus it on Thomas Seymour. But had it got a second season, you might have got. It probably would have. Well, there still would have been some starisms in there, definitely. But I think it probably would have been a lot better. But yeah, again, it got cancelled. So it is what it is. Would you do movie reviews of the 1969 Anne of the Thousand Days? Someday. I won't rule it out, but certainly not for the foreseeable future, because again, everything just slowed down quite a bit. So, particularly, obviously, I mean, there's the Poland review. It's going to be about 2.5 hours long, because there's so much to talk about. At some point, I do want to do a kind of a praise of Tudor dramas. It's a bit like a shadow of my Tudor Rant series, where I just go through good ones. But that'll be somewhere down the line. Owen Glendower film. Yeah, I suppose the Welsh government wouldn't have perhaps funded that, but yeah, I think they kind of have cut the Wars of the Rose. Obviously, they've had the Philippa Gregory stuff, and then obviously the lot of the Shakespeare stuff has been covered. So I guess they probably don't think they're not going to bother with that. Sadly, I know the writers of the Spanish Princes, they wanted to do. I think it was the Anarchy, wasn't it? Period, or it might have been Eleanor of Aquitaine actually. I can't remember. It's sometime around that sort of period, roughly. But nothing happened, because I think then the Thing happened, so they've not done it. Probably for the best, because if they can't like the Spanish Princess, which I will do Tudor Rant 5 at some point, but this Napoleon review has just completely taken up all my time. So. Oh, you can also just reiterate, if you're a channel member, you do get to use the emote. which is this one. There we go. Did you ever watch the BBC drama Charles II? Many years ago. I can barely remember it, to be honest. So. How many good Tudor series are there, apart from Keith, Michelle, and Glenn Jackson? That's about it, really. Ironically. No, literally, that is it, really. I mean, obviously, maybe got the 1972 film, a few films here and there, but... How are we doing? About an hour in. Cavalier, do you know the YouTuber History Buffs? No, I've... The only time I tried to contact them was way back, literally, when I was just doing my Cromwell review. So I had no subscribers, but, well, I think I had like 2, maybe. Because I think did I tell him after Cromwell? Because I think it was Daz, or I think I told him that I was doing this Cromwell review, so I think I had like maybe 2 people. And it instantly got copyright claimed as soon as, because the first time I'd ever done a video, and I was panicking, like, oh god, what do I do? So I tried to reach out to him and, hello, I'm trying to, you've got any advice, but obviously he didn't respond, but then I didn't really expect him to, because it was just a random thing. That's the only time I've ever tried to contact him, so... I don't really watch him as much anymore. I mean, obviously he doesn't upload very much. Never cite sources. Yeah, I don't think I've really noticed he does in his description, does he? He does sometimes, I think, get it from like certain documentaries. Like I think it was his Waterloo review. It felt like there was a documentary from like the 2000s I remember watching, where they said, I think I remember in that one they said like the Ney's cavalry charge was the largest cavalry charge in European history. It was like, which it wasn't. And I seem to remember him quoting that in his Napoleon review. It's like, did you get that from that documentary? I'd have to double check that, but yeah. Also, he seems to do like less history, more just kind of like much more modern sort of history of things like Narcos and stuff. Which is but he used to do stuff like Waterloo or did he do Cleopatra? I can't remember. This is the intro, but yeah. Past movie show we made of William the Conqueror. Well, I mean, they are doing the one about William the Conqueror. What was the name? I'm going to Google it. William the Conqueror series. I think it's King and Conqueror. That's the name of it. And production's is being done now, I think. So that the yeah, the casting is very modern, shall we say. I don't know who's playing William the Conqueror in it. Oh yes, the guy from Nikolai Coster-Waldau, I think it's pronounced. He was in Game of Thrones. So he's playing William the Conqueror. Actually, he might be a decent pick for William. That'd be interesting. So. Oh yeah, that one with the Cleopatras. Yeah, that was a show. I can't remember it too well because I saw it years ago. I think wasn't what's the name from Hello Hello? It was in the first few seasons. The maid, she was in it, wasn't she? It was Cleopatra's sister. Who gets bumped off. Francesca Gonshaw was it? I think. And I think what's his name? Oh God, I forgot the actor's name. He played Robert Dudley, in Elizabeth R. He was Julius Caesar, wasn't he? I think in it. Again, I've not seen it for a while, so. Can you explain how Thomas Cromwell and Oliver Cromwell related? I forget it just off the top of my head. I think it was Oliver Cromwell. Was it like his great-grand or his grandfather or something married into Thomas Cromwell, like he married like his niece or something. Robert Hardy, yeah. And I think because his surname wasn't actually Cromwell, but he changed his surname to Cromwell obviously because he'd married a relative of his, so he sounded more important. So he was related, but it was actually not the way you think it was. It was like on the maternal. It was like his Cromwell's sister's daughter or something had married into Oliver Cromwell's family that way, and then they took the name Cromwell from that to make it more important. I think, but that's just off the top of my head. I'll have to don't quote me on that. I'll have to check. So oversimplified. Which one's oversimplified again? Is that the? I think. Oh, look. Oversimplified. I get muddled with them all because there's so many of them called that. Oh yeah, oversimplified. Yeah, that's the ones. Yeah, yeah, they're all right. They're not too bad. Some of the humour gets a little bit childish for my liking, but overall I think it's okay. So. Oh, you all right, boy? Sorry, it's sister's dog. He's up. Yeah, that's fallen over. Hello. He's come to say hello, so. Good boy. Yeah. Streaming. Yeah. He's tiny, sleepy. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about the mess. That's your friend did that. Who was the one I do watch occasionally? It's like oh, I forgot the name of him. He does like sort of 2-minute ones. I mean, obviously, in terms of like if you want proper history sort of channels, I recommend obviously Trachinical for the naval sort of stuff. He's very good. And then who's the other one? Who does the really good Old Britannia? Steady boy. Sorry, Old Britannia. He's really good. So I must pick that up when I get. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not my dog. It's my sister's dog. I'm babysitting. So. Yeah. Also, again, just a reminder: you can super chat, and if you're a channel member, you get to use the custom emotes, which is that one, or will be in about 20 seconds when the delay catches up. Right, I'll probably go another sort of perhaps 10 minutes, 20 minutes maybe. I'll just see. Go up a bit, actually, the thing. Not much at the minute. Yeah, it's also like sort of, a lot of the other social media doesn't get engagement much anymore. Like Twitter, I noticed, have just like gone off a cliff. I mean, not that I never did get much on there, but it's just useful just to say, you know, I'm live streaming or something. But you know, it's got no likes and nothing. Because I think it's because it's a YouTube video link. They just don't promote it, so it's annoying. So yeah, if you've got any last questions, get them in now, because I'll probably end the stream in about 10 minutes. So when eventually it catches up. So, oh sorry, Adrian, you made it pretty late. Well, I'm finishing up now, I'm afraid. So, afterwards, obviously this video will be unlisted. I'll go back perhaps tomorrow and I'll add timestamp so people, if you missed the stream, and go back to the relevant sections. So you know the Q&A bit and the pain cut of Napoleon. Anybody there? They won't do Frederick the Great because that's German, isn't it? Germans might. You might get some of the German companies might do, maybe, but definitely not the West. Oh, thank you, Callie, for all your hard work over the years for History of Entertainment. Thanks. Yeah. I'll get you sketch for your Cav soon. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Are you going to put them on the perhaps on the Discord or? I forget. You are on the Discord, aren't you? I forget what your name is on there. Yep, that's it. Good. Actually, sorry, let me just heart that. There we go. You know, I will say, I do like the reply to a super chat thing. That's quite nice. Occasionally, YouTube does things that are good. Now and then. Usually they don't because they're useless. But love your channel. Thanks for educational and turning. Yeah, many thanks. Yeah. I'll go just nearly to half past. I'll go to so. Shame we don't get too many people on these sort of streams, but again, I think it's just YouTube just doesn't tell anyone. I do try and promote it because I said a few days ago I'd be streaming at this time, and I said a bit early, but again, I suspect YouTube just doesn't tell anyone. So. That ran to final season of the Tudors. Did I ever say I was going to do that? Do you mean the Spanish Princess? Because that's Tudor Ramp 5. That'll be some point. Like I said, I'm doing the Napoleon review. That'll be, I'm hoping by Christmas, but I'm not going to promise anything because I've got a lot of work to do with it still. I think next year I'm going to try and get the Titanic Rant 2 and Tudor Ramp 5 done after that, but I'm going to have to probably have a little bit of a breather after I do the Napoleon review. I do want to cover the Tudors at some point. I'll probably do them in 2 parts, like, seasons 1 and 2, one part, and seasons 3 and 4 another, but that'll be years down the line, honestly, so. Oh yeah, and obviously just a quick, I'll perhaps just play it again if I can, just the preview of the Napoleon review.
ジョー様の言っていた下のすごい迷路に着きました。行きましょう。
Come on. Come on, baby. I just want out.
I wish you could put me on your knee and take care of me.
Oh! Whoa! That's a nasty glug!
Yeah, that's gives you an idea of what it's going to be like. Apologies for any stuttering, but just the internet is terrible around here at the minute. So, really enjoy your work. Can't afford to stream channels. I buy DVDs. Help decide if they're worth buying. Yeah, that's the, I still just stick with DVDs honestly because I can't. There's so many things, just like, like for example, like Napoleon is on Apple, but like, do I want to buy a subscription to Apple just to go and watch that? Luckily, I found alternative means. I'm doing it with the director's cut, but like nobody was talking about the director's cut of Napoleon. I've seen I think about 2 or 3 channels reviewing it, and it's channels even smaller than me. Nobody else is really just talking about this. But again, I think they knew it was a bit of a nobody was going to watch, so they just wanted to get it out quick and be done with it. So, or maybe they're contractually obligated to do it or something. Was Mary actually pregnant with Henry VIII's child? Do you mean Mary Boleyn? There's beyond like the fact that one of the I think it was the son. He looked a bit kind of like Henry VIII in the painting. Nobody knows, and well, you never know until you do DNA testing or anything. But I think that because it actually is probably not, from what I've heard. But I'm going to be honest, I've not really looked into that lately because I'm kind of in Napoleon sort of mode at the moment. So I'd have to look into that a bit more if I ever covered like the other Boleyn girl. Although I did the unscripted video years ago, so. Just give it a few more minutes. Where did the anime? That's from Shadow's House. It's a really good series. Unfortunately, they kind of messed up the adaptation season 1 because the studio that made it, I think it was Cloverworks, wasn't it? They've done one like Spy X Family. I know it's technically Spy Family, but I call it Spy X Family. Quite a few famous ones. Could do basic. I'm not doing reaction videos. No, never, never doing that. But yeah, sorry. So Shadow's House. The production committee or whatever it's called, they basically told them, "All right, we're only going to give you 1 season, so you basically got to wrap it up in 1 season," which you can't because it's with the story. But also, if it does well, we're going to give you a 2nd season, so don't wrap it up. So they had to come up with this really convoluted anime original thing, where they got rid of a character who's really important and would have been in like the 2nd season, which was silly. And then they added this anime original thing where they just kind of ruined half of the characters. Which is a real shame because it's such a good series up until then. And then it goes off a cliff. And then it got renewed for a 2nd season. And so then they had to like fix it like hurriedly as they were doing season 2. Season 2 is pretty good though as well. But they got it sort of back on track. But it's... Although sad, I don't think it's going to get a 3rd season, unfortunately. But it's... But yeah, Shadow's House is really good. I won't say too much. It's a mystery sort of a series. Yeah, Princess Principal's still around. They're doing the movies. I've not really kept up with it because it's very slow. They did the original series in like 2017, I think, and then they were doing the Crown Handler movies. I think they've just done the 3rd one, but there's such huge gaps between them. There's like 2 years in between each one, and they're only halfway through. So it's like I've not really kept up with it. I suppose I think also they were slightly running out of ideas. Like the 2nd one was feeling a bit less. I remember they did a review of that, but I've not seen the 3rd one, I'm afraid, because it didn't get much attention. So I do want to do my review of it someday, but I want to now wait until they finish the movie, so that's going to be several years yet. So I could talk about anime for a bit actually. Yeah, there's one I'm quite enjoying. Is the Elusive Samurai. That's quite quite good. Well, that's funny because that's a historical sort of fiction one, but that's like kind of done well. Again, I don't know too much of the actual history because it's Japan. It's 1330s, I think, where the show. It's based on a historical event. The shogun was overthrown, and the is it the Tokugawa shogun? I forget which one took over. But the son of the previous shogun, he's 10, and he's trying to get sort of. It's not the throne, but his position, reclaim it. And I wouldn't say too much, but yeah, check it out. It's really good. I like that one. Did you see the Richard III anime? I saw episode 1 back in the day, and it was a bit dull, and I didn't keep up with it. And I don't think anybody really watched it. So that's the Requiem of the Rose King, I think, isn't it? So I've got the I've got the first volume of the manga, but yeah, I didn't keep up with it too much. So I heard it didn't do too well. So yeah, well, yeah, it's like Shadow's House. That was. It's such an underrated series. It didn't get much attention, sadly, but that's one I quite like. So I'm using quite a lot of the clips in videos. I do intend when I next do Tudor Rant 6. I think I'm going to cover the Anne Boleyn series again. You know, the Channel 5's one. I'm going to bring it up then. Hopefully that might give a bit more attention. Obviously, if you've seen the preview of the Napoleon review, I do mention I'm covering Legend of the Galactic Heroes on that one a bit. So that's a really good series. Do check the original. That is, you know, the 1989 to 97, I think it went the original series. Do check that one out. Right, it's nearly 9:30. Any final questions, or because I better start wrapping up, or any final super chats or memberships or anything? So I think I covered. I went a bit quicker than what I meant to with like the Q&A and the Napoleon and the Firebrand stuff, but then yeah, like I said, I just kind of do these streams occasionally when just because obviously I've got such a long gap in between editing at the minute because the Napoleon is going to take ages. So well, I think that's about it then. So I think we'll wrap up things here. Yeah, so anyway, this has been the Laughing Cavalier. Wishing you a good day.